Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scotty's Side. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I got a video here from Seek Wise Counsel. It's only got about 1.24K subscribers, smaller channel, 30,000 views a month ago. Very nice, very nice. It's broke, single, and almost 50. Don't beat yourself up. So I have not watched this. Let's see what he has to say.
Peace.
Peace.
So this is a message mainly to my single brothers out there, single men.
All right.
I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. That's not to mean that you just wallow and just sulk in your situation, but I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. I don't want you to be too hard on yourself, and this is why. First of all, you can't compare yourself to married men. If you're married, cool. But as a single man, if a man has a wife that's worth anything, even if she's a stay-at-home wife and he does all the work, that's a huge help. So if he has a decent woman that stays at home while he's out there grinding, and just for the simple fact that he could have food cooked when he got home, if you have to work 12, 13 hour, 14-hour days to grind and get it, and you don't have to worry about what you're gonna eat when you get home. Maybe your apartment is clean, your clothes is clean. You just got somebody to help you do daily chores and run around. That's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
You know, the name of this channel is Seek Wise Counsel, and Wise Counsel says that a man should find a wife, and if he finds a wife, he finds a good thing. A wife, mind you. Every woman is not a wife. Every girlfriend that you have, every woman that you come across right now is not meant to be your wife. And this is a big reason why a lot of us in the situation that I'm in today, why I'm making a video like this, talking about being broke and almost 50 years old. Now, broke, I got a few dollars, okay? But guess what? If I had a financial emergency right now, I can't cover it. And in a lot of cases, brothers, we are the sum total of our choices in life. Now, in my situation, in my case, and sometimes, hey, you know, you can't always play it safe. I was not the play it safe type of brother growing up. What did I mean? What do I mean by that? That means I took calculated risks as far as my employment goes. I learned earlier in life that the 9-to-5 job really wasn't for me. That's what I'm doing now because that's the situation that I'm in. And if you find yourself in that situation, you know, stick it out. Stay there until you can figure out how to do something else. But I had a stable career. I had a good job. I was doing IT. I was making decent money in my mid-20s. But that lifestyle, that office environment, that corporate America lifestyle, I knew early on it wasn't for me. So I started my own business. I started a carpet cleaning business. And I did well, but like I said, the choices that you make can end up affecting you down the long run in ways that you don't know. Now, fast forward to about a little more than 10 years ago, I shut down a successful moving business. I got married, but guess what? Guess whose fault it was? Mine. Because God hold man responsible for man choices. It don't matter what your woman do. This channel is Seek Wise Counsel, so this channel is going to be, the content on this channel, I'm always going to go back to the wisdom of the book, the wisdom of the Bible, the wisdom of Solomon, the richest man, the richest brother that ever lived, King Solomon. And then when he reflected back on all his wealth, he said, you know what? It ain't about nothing. Yeah. And he made bad choices, terrible choices, based on his affinity for women.
Yeah, there's a good lesson to be learned right there. Damn. So he's packed a lot there. You know, good for him making businesses. And I think that's what's going to be happening more and more nowadays just because of this economy and shit. People can't rely on their jobs anymore. And so they're going to have to start thinking of their own businesses and getting that going and everything like that. There was some news shit I saw the other day where like all these economists are freaking out that, oh no, you're not going to be a corporate slave. All these people are wanting to start their own businesses. They're like freaking out that that people want to start their own small businesses and do things on their own terms and not be a fucking corporate wage cuck? Of course they are, because then they can't get the work out of you. Good for him. I mean, it sounds like it went to shit. I don't know. Let's keep. Maybe he gets more into it here, but that sucks, man. Because he seems like a good guy, and having that happen, that's terrible. But let's keep going.
1,000 wives. Come on now.
1,000.
You know that ain't nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
We can't even deal with. We can't even handle one.
Fuck.
This brother had 1,000 of them, and it ended up being that when he made the decision to get all them wives, that's when his life did like that. So if you find yourself broke, and hopefully you're younger, hopefully this video you come across this video and you might be in your 20s. Well, if you in your 20s and you broke, I don't really even consider that broke, because that's the stage of your life where you're supposed to be trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you might just be getting out of college and you broke. So don't worry about that. Like I said, we have a bad habit. We tend to compare ourselves to other people, when for one, you can't do that because you don't even know what they got going on behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Right? That's just one. Again, a single brother comparing himself to a married man, that's not a true comparison either. Now, you could be a brother that chooses to go that traditional career path. Well, there's a little bit of stability in that, but guess what? Even now, right, with the cost of gas, cars, groceries, rent, everything else, look, somebody's going to be a casualty of all of this, right? And I'm not saying that you should stay there where you at and just accept your circumstances and your situation, but look, there's going to be casualties as we get closer to the end. There's going to be casualties. Men are going to fall by the wayside just simply because of the situation.
Yeah.
We cannot, our ability to provide like we used to provide has been compromised.
Big time.
It didn't used to be this way. You could make, I don't know, you could make $40,000, $45,000. Now, you wasn't balling out of control, but you could afford a decent apartment. Not too long ago, you could afford a decent apartment. You could have a little bit of money left over to go on vacation once a year. And this was in your lifetime. If you listen to this video, this was in your lifetime. We're not there anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Like, look, don't beat yourself down and go into states of depression. A, if you're basing your life based on what you see on this platform, what you think everybody's living this life. B, you comparing yourself to married men, or even a man that's living with his girl, living off his girl, however you want to put it. And C, maybe you ain't even 30 years old yet. Look, life is like this, right? I wasn't always at this place. I had a thriving moving business. Now, I wasn't a millionaire, but I was well into the six figures.
Damn.
I made bad choices, but at the end of the day, you know, I realized that I am where I'm at. One, because my choices, but two, like, you know, God put you in certain places. God put you in places to show you something, to show you things. He'll break you down to your socks to say, look, what you gonna do now? And when I say God, I need y'all to understand something. You know, this is a subject for another video, but I'm not talking about the traditional views that people have in church. Okay? That's just one thing. We'll get to that in other videos. But back to the subject, like, being broke at 48 years old is a very, very, it can be
tough.
It's some rough days, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna end up really quick. You see how he's taking accountability for his situation, for his lot in life. He said, I fucked up. I made wrong decisions. He's looking within. He's looking in the mirror also. This is masculine behavior. This is what men do. Right? A woman would be blaming everything else. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, that happened to me. So I had to do it. It was all out of my control. Blah, blah, fucking blah. But this is a real man taking accountability, responsibility for where he's at. And he's saying, I fucked up. I messed up. But also at the same time, he's recognizing that the world isn't what it used to be. You know, the dollar doesn't go nearly as far anymore, and it's going to keep getting worse. That's just the economy we're in. So, like I said earlier, like that's why people are starting their own businesses and shit like that, getting away from the 9 to 5 bullshit, cuck slave thing, you know? But good on him for taking accountability. I applaud him for that.
I have some dark days dealing with what I'm dealing with. Single.
We all do, bro.
No money in the bank for retirement. I'm getting closer and closer to that age. But look, each day the book say every day is the evil of today. That's enough. Don't even worry about tomorrow. You need to take care of today. So the first step is, look, stop. Don't make, it's okay to plan, right? It's okay to plan for the future, but some things you can't plan for. I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna end this. I give you a perfect example. I'm getting on my feet. Credit back up in the 700s.
Fuck yeah.
Paying off some debt. You know, had to hit the reset button on a few things. Things are starting to financially start to maybe slightly turn around. Get a letter in the mail. Wage garnishment. What? What is this? Open it up. It's from 2016. I'm not even sure if it's mine. I'm looking at it like, what is this? It's always something, bro. And that was from a situation, 2016, I was married. So I was like, yeah, it probably is. I was racking up debt, being a fool. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
no.
Don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, shit.
Take me as an example.
Okay.
That you need to make wise decisions. Try to make wise decisions in your 20s. And even if you do that, you can't predict life. Nobody would have predicted. Nobody could foresee. Now, if you got a little wisdom, which I didn't, but if you got a little wisdom, you know, as time progresses, things only are going to get worse as we come towards the end of this thing. Things are only going to get worse. So you kind of, just in knowing that, right? Just in knowing that things are going to progressively get worse, you can kind of plan. You can kind of figure out how to move and have foresight, vision on what's going to happen. I get mine from the book. How you get yours, I don't know. But you should at least know this. Things ain't getting no better. And you know that. You can see that. Yeah, some things might get better in certain regards. But if you look at just from your life, you're probably younger than me. If you look at just in your life, the trajectory of things. People say technology, things have gotten better. Has it?
Yeah.
Society as a whole has been doing this.
Yeah.
So you can plan around that. You can make decisions based on that. And one of the most important decisions that a man will ever make in his life is the woman that he chooses to be by his side.
Or doesn't choose.
And I'll elaborate on that in the next video. Hope this finds somebody and helps.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for that video. I would say, let me switch to the big head here real quick. I would say no woman would probably be the better answer. And, you know, I mean, hey, that's what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your life. But look what happened. He's not with her anymore. And then some bullshit came up from almost 10 years ago on his wage garnishment. What the fuck? And I believe he said he linked it to his marriage. Now, what decisions would he have made differently if he was not married? I don't know. We all don't know. We can't look into alternate universes. But overall, strong message from this guy. Yeah. I appreciate him making this video. This is good. I agree with pretty much everything he says. So, I'll leave a link to his video in the description. Go send him some love. Give him some likes and all that stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. we gotta look out for each other. All of us. Me, guys like this, everything. All right. I love you all. See you in the next one.